അറബ് ലോകത്തു നിന്നുള്ള ഏറ്റവും പുതിയ എഴുത്തുകാരിയാണ് ഷഹദ് അൽ റാവി. ഷഹദിൻ്റെ ബാഗ്ദാദ് ക്ലോക്ക് ആസ്വാദകരുടെ, സാഹിത്യാസ്വാദകരുടെ ശ്രദ്ധ പിടിച്ചുപറ്റിയ നോവലാണ്. ബാഗ്ദാദിനെക്കുറിച്ചും ഇറാഖിനെയും കുറിച്ചുള്ള ഒരു ആഖ്യാനം എന്നതിലുപരിയായിട്ട് ബാഗ്ദാദിലെയും ഇറാഖിലെയുമൊക്കെ കൗമാര പ്രായക്കാരുടെ ചിന്തകൾ, അവരുടെ ലോകം അനാവരണം ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു നോവൽ കൂടിയാണ് ബാഗ്ദാദ് ക്ലോക്ക്. അറബ് ലോകത്തു നിന്നുള്ള ഈ എഴുത്തുകാരി ഷഹദ് അൽ റവി മാതൃഭൂമി.com അവരുടെ വീക്ഷണങ്ങൾ, കാഴ്ചപ്പാടുകൾ പങ്കുവയ്ക്കും. ബാഗ്ദാദ് ക്ലോക്ക് has been received very well across the world, I think, and there have been quite a lot of excitement over your novel. And how do you really look at literature? Do you think that, because there is an observation that this observation was mainly put forth by Arundhati Roy. She said that sometimes, we write fiction because telling truth. So what is your take on that?
I think nobody has the truth. Maybe
so
there is
absolute truth.
Yeah, there absolute truth. Yes, maybe there is the truth of my point of view, and there is another truth from your corner. It depends. But for the literature, for me, why I write literature, why I read literature, it's for expand the world, expand the life, and for the explore the other dimension of life. When you read about a character that you didn't meet it before, and you read inside its personal psychology.
Observation that writing fiction is really writing truth. So speaking truth to the power, So when there is no other means, so when you cannot directly speak truth to the power, then you turn to fiction, you turn to writing novels, poetry, or something else. So what is your take on that?
It's about truth or about literature.
Yeah. So how do you look at literature? Is it really the portrayal of depiction of truth?
For me, nobody has the absolute truth. The truth is its point of view. Like I can see the truth in my point of view, and you can see another kind of a truth from your corner. It's depends. For me, literature is, I read literature and I write literature to expand the life and to explore the people and the other dimension of life and of worlds. When you just read about a character that you never met it, but you think that you so different, you and him so different, but you can find yourself with him. So this is the literature.
Yeah, truth is relative, of course. As Kurosawa, here the Japanese filmmaker, Rashomon, he points out that there are many aspects, many perspectives of truth. So the truth that I see may not be the truth that you may be discerning.
And because of that, there is an art and cinema and literature to express the kind of truth that you see, that you find it. It's the event.
But there is something really true, because I just want to ask you the question, because when we say that truth is relative and there could be different interpretations of truth. For example, from the American point of view, when they say that Saddam Hussein had, this very huge deposit of destructive weapons. They may claim that they are telling the truth. But at a point of time, it really trickles down to the basic truth, and the real truth, the naked truth, comes into public view. And now I think they are standing exposed, that Iraq didn't have those kinds of massive or mass destructive weapons, So sometimes, somewhere, the real truth definitely emerges. Don't you think so?
It's, if we want to talk about the real truth, if it exists, I remember the Bertrand Russell, he said, if you had the enthusiasm, if you had this kind of energy about the truth, about anything, that it's mean that you never have the truth. That means that every story has many aspects, hidden aspects, and because of that, I cannot pretend that if you you make the cover out, okay, that the whole truth is right out.
Baghdad Clock, your debut novel, it is your version of truth.
Because I have many characters, and each character look at the reality in another classes.
But all characters, whatever we say, it's quite debatable, I agree, but whatever we say, all the characters do resemble an autobiographical element of the author. Don't you think so?
Yeah, of course. Especially when the Baghdad Clock, it's my first novel, so I have to take from my point of view from inside me. That's normally. But if you want to extend, I try to be away from the truth, beside the life that we see as normal human beings, because my character, they didn't know anything about politics. I have child, she being a teenager, after when she become a mature, she left the country, so she didn't know anything about politics, but she looked at the universe or the war or the country from the point of view from child point of view. She had many questions, and you have to answer if you are reader.
Yeah, basically Baghdad Clock has been described as the journey of two young girls into adulthood.
Yeah.
That of course is there.
Yeah.
But it is also a telling tale of the times we live in. So how deeply you are affected by the Gulf War?
I affected as a person who faced the attack of rocket every day, as a person who faced the toughest siege in the new world. That was not easy at all, but I didn't. So this circumstances, it's very tough, because I was in. And when you go through any war or any tough circumstances, you will figure out that you are very strong, and you will find out that I'm tired. Okay. And you find out that you really have many strong points in your heart and in your soul, and you can face everything with a smile and with didn't take it granted, for granted. So that's.
And what made you really write your debut novel, The Baghdad Clock?
Because I had the fears from oblivion. I had the fears from, I don't want to forget my personal life. All the news shortcut us as a very quick news, like oh, there's a war on Iraq. No, there's a war on Iraq, but I have a personal life, and I have a personal history, and I live my life with my friends, and with the love, and with the hope, and with the dreams. And you have to listen to my story under the skin of the war, that you see it as a war, but I live it. And when you live something, so that you live your daily life beside the biggest news.
And there is also an observation that every creation of art, is really an attempt at immortalization. Everybody wants to be immortal.
Yeah, Milan Kundera wrote about this. Yeah.
So how do you put that in perspective?
It's not about something personal. I don't want to be immortal. Sometimes I want to be vanished, but I don't want to. I don't want my memory will be vanished too. I don't want my personal story vanished. Why? Because personal story is a version of the whole story and around the world, but with another circumstances. So you have to hear my story, like I have to, and I should too, hear your story to feel that I am international and universal citizen. Here is the immortal, that you can listen and you can feel the people, the pain, what you're suffering for. I suffering for it. Even I am in heaven, I feel that you are in pain, so I have to have the compassion with you, to be a human.
So very interesting point, because everybody has got a personal story, I think, and no one else can really tell it.
Exactly.
So your personal story has to be written by yourself.
It's not just my personal story, it's my generation story. Because my generation didn't move in the theater of literature before, okay? So this is my generation from 80s,
so
80s to 90s.
What really cut you off from literature?
Sorry?
No, when you say that your generation didn't move in literature.
Yeah, because we go through a siege, a cultural siege. And cultural siege prevents you to read well and to write well and to explore the literature well. Siege. You cannot read well, you cannot find the books, you cannot write.
So your generation didn't have access to world literature. Do you mean to say that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
so your generation got bereft of the richness of the world literature.
Yeah. Yeah, because
so that was really an agonizing process.
Yeah. It's have to be organized. You know something? In Iraq we don't have cinema. We don't have drama. So nothing, you know. If I want to watch a TV and I want to watch a series about 80s, 90s, I couldn't find. So I couldn't find pictures about what kind of purse I used before, what kind of table we used to use before, what kind of clothes. We don't have even the anthropology studying.
So what are your reflections on Saddam Hussein?
You know something, if you want to take any opinion about anything, you have to watch, observe and study. And even any period of history, it have to take the good time to be read again. For me, I was a child.
Yeah.
I didn't know really what the truth, where's the reality. But
how old were you when he was executed?
16.
16.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So because of that, I do my research about this, and I'm asking many people, and
But how did you feel it at that time?
I'm not feeling well because it was. I don't want to talk about the dictatorialship, and I don't want.
Yeah.
But when the occupation forces come to your country and hang any president, even he's good or he's bad.
Yes.
This is unethics. This is unacceptable, and that makes me feel that I don't have any freedom in my country. And I wrote a freedom paper when I was in Edinburgh. It's about the freedom. It's about the titles. I said many people said about the 9 April. It is liberation, and many people said occupation. And it's not about the title. It's about the feeling that I couldn't, when the occupation forces came to my country, no Iraqi could shout like a braveheart, freedom.
Yes.
Nobody. So it's not the freedom.
Yeah, I think that is the irony, because quite often, you know, the forces who come over to the country and take it over, they claim that they are waging the war for democracy.
Yeah, exactly.
But they do it, they resort to most undemocratic ways.
Exactly.
To achieve whatever goals
they
have
destroyed
in their
everything
mind.
after. If this revolution came by the Iraqis, I would be support.
Right.
But it's occupation forces, and they destroy the concepts of the organization, of the country organization. You know, that's not easy at all.
And it was definitely an attack on the idea of Iraq, you know. And what a great nation was Iraq, and what a great culture it had.
Yeah.
The heritage.
Yeah.
And we were all really proud of, you know,
Yeah.
the great culture of Iraq.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you see it is under siege, it is under attack, and it collapses.
The government is collapsed, the army is collapsed. So this is a normal result. Everything is collapsed because nothing like, I think that's here is
yeah. But you see, history has been telling us that in spite of all these problems, you know, people have that will to survive. So you are
all the people, not just Iraqis, all the human rights.
So you are really optimistic that
I'm
Iraq will go
optimistic
back
all the time.
It will regain its old glory.
Yeah, because you know you have three civilizations: Egypt, India, and Iraq. So it will become today. When I saw the student here, that the Kerala people, they really like to read. They read my novel in English, and they are students and university student and less than this. And I found them, wow, they are educated very well. So this is the civilization. It doesn't depend on the prosperity and rich and lightness and heaviness. It's not depend on this. It's depend on the how many years from civilization you have to take it once and I didn't figure recycling itself. Restructuring, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when you started your novel, was there any model for you? Were you really influenced by some work which you considered as a model for you for your writing?
I didn't have a model because of that. The Baghdadi clock was a very strange and weird for writing. Mm-hmm. But the best writer, I love Milan Kundera, and I love Steven Zweig.
Okay, and what about the Latin American fiction writers, including Garcia Marquez?
Yeah, of course, Marquez. You can read it in my novel.
Yeah, one of your characters,
I take a quote. Yeah.
Magical realism.
Yeah.
So, were you really influenced by the magical realism?
I have a magical mind. I can turn you now to a bird.
Quite often, I think, in fact, when it was pointed out to Garcia Marquez, he said that these things really happen in Latin American countries.
Exactly, no, because his grandmother was telling him stories, and we have all grandmothers, and we have all magical stories, and life is magical. The reality is more magical than the magic.
Yeah,
really.
Life is stranger than
Yeah,
fiction.
very. When I was when I was young and in the school, I was telling my colleague that I will be very famous writer. They was laughing. We are under siege. We didn't know what countries. We couldn't travel. We couldn't see any country before. So they laughing on me. And the magic, it's happened.
And what is? I think we will be concluding. So what is that one important lesson that life has taught you?
To be aware, but forget this awareness.
To be aware and forget
This awareness.
Forget this awareness. So forgetfulness is part and parcel of life. Have you already started writing the next novel?
Yeah.
Is it?
The Picasso Galaxy.
It's over. You have already.
And there is Kerala in it.
What is the title?
The Picasso Galaxy.
Picasso Galaxy.
Yeah.
So it deals with.
Deals with colors, art, human beings, other kind of words and science.
And you said that Kerala also.
Yeah, because
mentioned.
Kerala, the city of colorful, the coloring. Yeah.
So you were quite aware of Kerala even before you started this journey. Is it so?
Yeah, of course.
Why? How was it? How were you influenced by Kerala?
By the writer Arundhati Roy.
Arundhati Roy.
Yeah.
Okay. So Arundhati is one of your favorite.
Yeah,
authors.
of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were quite fascinated by her novel, The God of Small Things.
Small Things. Yeah. It's really amazing. Yeah.
So that novel really took you to Kerala.
Yeah, exactly.
So even
and I have many friends in Dubai from Kerala.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
So even before landing in Kerala.
Exactly.
So you were
So I
quite in
feel
touch
home.
with Kerala.
Yeah, I feel home.
You feel home.
Really, when I reached yesterday in the airport, I saw the faces that I know, this kind of faces, and everybody is smiling to me and I smiling to them. And then I felt that this kind of people, they didn't reject the reality. They adapt the reality, and they are very calm. They didn't have. Here I found the energy, but in the street I saw another kind of energy, the energy of silence. The people are just staring, meditate, and they adapt with the weather, they adapt with the colors, they adapt with this diversity of people, religions, and colors and everything. So that's amazed me really.
And in moments of crisis, where you really turn towards for sustenance and solace?
Sorry?
In moments of crisis, you know,
Yeah.
everyone has moments of crisis in one's life.
Yeah.
So, in those moments when you feel so down, where you really turn for sustenance and solace?
I listen to the music.
Music. Okay. So music liberates you.
Yeah.
It gives you solace
Yeah.
and comfort.
Music and colors, like painting and listening to the music. It's another dimension of life.
And when is your new novel getting published?
Maybe after 4 months.
4 months.
Yeah.
So everything is over. You have already written the final chapter. Is it so?
No.
No. The finishing touches are on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So wonderful. It's such a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Mr. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to me.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.